disposal report. Councillors, item number 9. So I'll move the recommendation. Thank you, Councillor Clow. Comments, questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Very straightforward, these two properties. No issues were raised throughout the internal consultation. No local board issues and no issues throughout the iwi engagement. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Councillor Watson.
Questions on 601 Beach Road there. I see that you board support there, Letitia. Just a couple of points in terms of the replacement toilets. Do we have an indication where they will be going in the new development? Is it on the beach road or is it round the back? Where are those toilets planned to go as far as the public access?
I'm not actually aware of the detail of that. I believe they have been planned and the local board is happy with that, but I haven't seen the plans myself. I can find out a bit more and get back to you.
Sure, thanks. As far as the local board goes, as I understand from their chair, who I thought might have been along today, that there was a request also made that in terms of the developer that's involved here, whereby some minor works relating to the excuse me, the footpathing in this area might be undertaken as a consequence of the proceeds from here and that agreement with the developer. Are you aware of that?
No, that hasn't been raised with me. I'm happy to look into that further, but it hasn't been raised until now.
So the local board didn't actually put that on the table with you? Okay, thanks. That's the only questions I've got, thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Casey.
Oh, just to ask you, the 15 Austin Place in Pukekoi is next to the animal shelter?
Yes, it is.
It says dog pound. We don't have those.
Sorry, that was the advice that I received from the staff. Sorry, animal shelter would have been a better term.
Thank you.
Sorry, just the one further question, Letitia. Just to confirm that it's being offered to all adjoining landowners too, isn't it?
Yes, through the chair, it will be.
Thank you. If there's no other questions, I'll put the recommendations. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, you too.
Item number 10. We've got Johnny. Welcome team. Johnny, maybe you could introduce your team to us.
Kia ora tātou. Kia ora. We're just providing an update for Te Tō Takitini program of work for the last quarter. We've also got the respective program leads for each of the programs of action. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce Amakura Panoho. She's recently been appointed as our portfolio manager for Te Tō Takitini and sits within Te Waka Angamoa. Also Bernard Tupa, who's standing in for Sanchia Jacobs, who's the program lead for Whai Painga, our social wellbeing program, and also Henare Johnson, who's the program lead for Whairawa, the economic wellbeing. Sarah, who's looking after our Whai Tika Effectiveness for Māori program, and Karen Cray, who looks after the Whai Tiaki, the cultural Māori wellbeing program. I'll take the report as read, but in summary, it provides an overview of the Q3 activities. It touches on where we've landed in terms of activities and budget for 2016-17. And there's ongoing work with program leads and IMSB Secretariat staff to finalise the detail of the work program for next year, which we'll take to the executive leadership group in June to approve. We also want to highlight that in terms of our year-end tracking, we're estimating a underspend of around $1.1 million as it sits at the moment So we'll be working through the program leads to monitor and drive the remaining activities over the last quarter. So happy to take any questions, and the program leads are here to respond to any specific questions you may have. Kia ora.
Any questions? Member Taipei.
Kia ora, Madam Chair. Ka nui te mihi ki a koutou tēnei wā. Just in terms of the management plan for the Tupuna Maunga or Tamaki Makaurau Authority, there's been delays, which there's been its development, which has led to underspend. What was, do you know what caused those delays?
We're unable to answer that specific question. John Hutton was unable to join us this morning, but we can actually take that back and provide a response for you.
Okay, and could you also ask him what was done to mitigate the delays?
Councillor Cashmore.
Yes, thanks, Madam Chair. The Kaitiaki Rangers Forward Dog Forward Council seems to be quite a successful program. Is that going to be rolled out further for over the next forthcoming years?
Yes, hi. We are proposing an extension of the program, and both in terms of its reach, so it will be on a rotating basis over 3 years, getting to all of the sectors, so northern, western and southern parks as well. So yes, we're looking to extend the program and also looking to replicate some of the learnings from that across other activities that she's delivered through parks, or so local parks and also environmental services projects.
Just to supplement, Madam Chair, if I may, is DOC of a similar sort of way of thought?
I am sorry, I don't know what DOC is planning to do, but I can chase that up if you're interested.
I'll do that as well.
Thank you. Councillor Lee.
Kia ora. On page 26, a question in the bottom paragraph. Key priorities for the fourth quarter 2015-2016. Second bullet point, initiate Māori business ecosystem research in partnership with the Independent Māori Statutory Board. What is a Māori business ecosystem?
Through the Chair, this piece of research is something that's being undertaken between the, as it says in there, the IMSB and ATED. And my understanding is that the nature of this research is to understand what various, I suppose, clusters of businesses exist which have a Māori focus or are Māori businesses, and to be able to figure out what might be the best way that those particular clusters may be supported moving forward.
Can I ask, in reporting to council committees, we use plain language and don't use jargon like ecosystem when it doesn't really mean ecosystem? Because around here, and where I came from, ecosystem meant ecosystem. Thank you.
Okay. I'm speechless. If there's no other questions or comments, I'll move the recommendations.
I'll second, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against, carried. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work. Item number 11. Quarterly report on non-rateable properties rating treatment. Who have we got? John and Debbie. Yep. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a report on a programme of work that we are undertaking to review the non-rateable properties throughout the region, make sure that we're treating them in a standardised way and that they're all correctly rated. The report's quite self-explanatory. If anybody's got any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Councillor Darby, we've put a B in there. Request that the report be forwarded to local boards for information, requesting their support in identifying non-rateable properties for review.
Look,
Councillor Darby.
Thanks, Chair. And I want to acknowledge the Chief Financial Officer and Deborah for undertaking this work after I just had raised some concern, and I appreciate the speed at which you've done this work and mapped out that timeline, and with a preparedness to investigate a whole lot of categories of property. I think it's really refreshing to see our finance team get onto that so quickly, and they've already uncovered a net of at least $310,000. And that's, of course, new rates which alleviate the rates reliance on those that are currently paying rates. I guess my questions, in some ways they've been answered by the spirit of the report, but it does highlight that we do need to tighten up on some of the information gathering so that we can identify these changes more immediately. But I'm wondering if the CFO or Deborah, you could maybe just outline the benefits in the place of New Core. I understand New Core is actually going to enable us to do a lot of this work, which was up until now very difficult to track data, or at least parts of council to convey data to other parts, and then for that data to actually become readable information. Do you want to just expand on that?
Do you want to start, Debbie?
Sure. Through the chair, the reporting will be standardised, so we'll be able to see everything together in one picture. And also the work of our data coordinators who are undertaking this review will change from a lot of data entry to more auditing work. They will be able to have more time to spend on auditing the properties.
Okay.
Through you, Madam Chair, if I may continue, an additional aspect of that work, of the more auditing focus, is processed, then the system will require that the person processing that confirms the use. So that will be a further trigger of the rateable, non-rateable.
Okay. Look, I think it's pretty well mapped that we are going to be looking pretty hard at a whole lot of categories of property that have, and I'm sure it's going to flush out quite a few in there, and there's going to be hopefully quite a few millions of dollars for us and for the benefit of existing ratepayers. But I can't help but think, Madam Chair, that we need to embark on an even bigger body of work after this, and that is to seek review of the 2002 Local Government Rating Act. That instrument is actually archaic for probably most of New Zealand, but particularly it's archaic for Auckland. Yep. There are just too many categories that are non-rated. Yep. And of course we can start with Crown properties and schools now. There's hardly a secondary school in Auckland that does not have this big new business unit called the International Student Program. They are imposing massive cost on infrastructure because 10% of schools are a brand new business model. And there are commercial entities within, let's say, universities, hospitals, and they shouldn't be getting the rates remissions or exclusions or relief that I think they're probably getting now, and the staff will be trawling through all of that. So that legislation, I would hope that we maybe pick up a bigger topic out of this. And as a council, I don't think it's something we can rely upon Local Government New Zealand. Auckland Council has different drivers to demand a review of that legislation. For example, jetties, wharves, you can't rate them. We can't rate them. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Commercial activities on wharves down at the waterfront here and other wharves, private jetties occupying public seabed. Surely there should be an opportunity to rate that activity. But the categories are numerous, the activities are numerous, and I would like to see us run this one down a little bit. I'm also aware of churches which are becoming more than churches. They are convention centres. They are operating wedding function facilities, not just the religious service, but they're actually the aftermatches there. And I know of churches that offer massive commercial car parking opportunities. We're not picking them up at the moment. So numerous categories, and I really do take my hat off to the Chief Financial Officer for undertaking this work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I agree. I mean, there's a lot can be done, but hopefully if we get New Core sorted and on side, that will give us a great opportunity. And it was just funding paper that I did for Local Government New Zealand. Councillor Wood.
Yeah, this subject is non-rateable property rating treatment. What the question I'm really asking is, what are we doing with the situations which is happening more often across, I think, the residential areas of Auckland, where people buy a house and then do some repairs or do some alterations, turn it into and sublet part of the dwelling, and that's as a separate unit where people move in and use it as their home. Are we actively pursuing that, which used to be a policy of the North Shore City Council, former North Shore City Council, used to actively go out and be pretty rigorous in following up on these matters, and I know that we did bring a number of places into the loop, or into the where we were able to get funds because they'd sublet the properties and things like uniform annual general charge. So is that something